Hello and welcome to Journey of a Student Nurse. My name is Lee. Welcome to today's video. So today we're going to be doing a brand new series here on the channel, and this series is called Gaming of a Student Nurse. So the aim of this series is really just to take a break, relax and just play some games. That's all it's about. So a lot recently, especially on nursing Twitter, we have been hearing a lot about student mental health, nurse mental health, and just how people have been coping recently, about certain situations, whether that placement, work, things like that. And one of the themes that's really come out of this is we've been talking a lot about self-care. And that got me thinking, what about doing a wee series where we do something about self-care? So in this series we're going to be doing a few different games, and we're going to be just playing them. That's all we're aiming to do. So today I thought we'll play a Train Simulator 2019 video. So the route that I've selected is the Glasgow Airport Rail Link, and we're going to be taking this service from Glasgow Central to Glasgow Airport. Now, we'll start the scenario. So I will point out that this scenario, though the route is probably somewhat 80% realistic in terms of the track and where the track goes, the last sort of wee bit into Glasgow Airport doesn't actually exist in real life. Is it something, was it like 2009 or something like that? The route was actually considered as a link from Glasgow Central to Glasgow Airport. However, basically, to make a short story longer, that the plans fell through, and this route never actually came into being. So that being said, this last wee bit doesn't actually exist. So that's us at Glasgow Central. We've got this train set up. So the train that we're driving today is a Scotrail Class 380, or in other words, a BR or British Rail Class 380. So on the 380 Zyro, it is a German design train, and it's built by Siemens, I think. Siemens? I can't pronounce the name. I don't know how to pronounce the name of the company, but it is a good wee train. Today we are running a 4-car setup. So this scenario is the journey is an out and back. So we'll be heading out to Glasgow Airport, and then we'll be doing a return leg back into Glasgow Central. So we're just a few moments away from departure. And what I quite like about this is that this was one of the first third-party DLCs released for Train Simulator a few years ago. I can't remember the year. I think it was something like 2011, 12 or something. But I will say though that they've really captured the detail of Glasgow Central, and it's one of the nicest looking stations that I've actually seen in Train Simulator, and the detail is pretty impressive. So there are just a few things that I would like to have seen in this a bit more. I would like to have seen more trains, sort of things like 156s, Class 320s, and these sorts of things, as well as other trains. What we're seeing here is a Great Western Railway train, and this train runs from London Paddington down to sort of Penzance route. It would have been nice to see if this was in either a cross-country livery or if this was in probably a virtual train. It's just not very realistic. It's my only qualm about this is it's not a cross-country trains. Had that been cross-country or something, it might have been a bit better. I know the scenario is a bit older, but having a more realistic reskin of the train operator that runs it would have been a bit nicer. So we'll hop back into the cab and we'll head down towards Glasgow Airport. So as I was talking there, I got the train up and running, just so we didn't see the slow boring start. So the signal has turned to green, so in theory it means we could actually, you know, speed up, but unfortunately our line speed is only 15 miles an hour out of Glasgow Central. We just passed under a 20 mile an hour speed board, which means that we can accelerate up towards 20 miles an hour. I'm not going to accelerate too quickly, as we've got a double yellow signal just ahead, and then we've got a single yellow, and then, as you can probably see where the mouse is, we've got a red signal. So just after the signal, I do theoretically have to stop. So there's no point in me speeding up too much to then have to suddenly sort of slow down again, you know, and come to a potential stop. So by just keeping the speed a wee bit slower, it should hopefully mean, just as we approach the signal and come around the corner, the signal should hopefully change to yellow. So, and we've got a single yellow up ahead, which is good. So we'll accelerate up towards 20 miles an hour, if the train will accelerate. One thing I have noticed about the 380 is, depending on the speed setting that you put, the acceleration can vary a wee bit. That's something I've noticed. And I've also noticed that you have to be, you know, the brakes are alright. You know, for the acceleration, we've got a very smooth, you know, acceleration, which is really nice. We've got an AWS signal going off, or alarm going off. It's a smooth throttle, which is really nice. Oh, we're speeding. Crikey. Well, shouldn't matter too much now. Oops. Well, whilst the braking, as you can probably see here, is it stepped. So we've got step 1, step 2, step 3, and then we've got our emergency braking. Now, quite fortunately, I've not really had any issues with the emergency brakes in this train, which is fair to say. Okay, I'm not going to accelerate too much farther, just until we've cleared the signals up ahead. At the moment we do have a train in front of us, which is a wee bit annoying, as it means we can't accelerate right up to lane speed. Now that the train in front of us has cleared, and the signal's gone green, we will accelerate up towards the line speed of 60 miles an hour. So I'm going to give her a bit of full throttle, just near enough full throttle at the moment, just to allow us just to get a wee bit of speed up. So we've got 8 minutes to do 5 miles and get to Paisley Gilmour Street, and this is very doable. So we'll be there very quickly. So, oh crud, how are we speeding? Oh crud. We've gone from a 60 to a hidden 50. Crikey, crikey, crikey. Now we're set. This is one thing I've noticed about this particular route, is there are some hidden speed changes that do occur, and some of the speed changes, even though you might pass the speed post and it will say, and it will come up to say go to 60 miles an hour from 75 miles an hour, the actual speed limit change doesn't occur till a wee bit just after the speed post, and some signs I have noticed, maybe it's just me, but do occur just before it. So just, and especially on the HUD as well, where the speed limit changes. So I would just be wary of where the speed limit changes are. So, but I particularly noticed that the speed limit changes on the HUD. I do apologise for what I said. It's actually on the HUD I was trying to talk about, not the actual sign, sorry. But the signs on the HUD, you have to be wary about the speed limit changes. So the actual signs on the track, I have noticed that are actually okay. That's where the speed limit's kind of actually more realistic. Okay, now I'm speeding accidentally. Get her down to, there we go. So, as you can probably see here, we got this train just up in front of us here, this was the train that departed ahead of us at Glasgow Central. And this train, I think, is going to be calling at Cardonald, which is the first stop on this route. I can't remember where the train exactly goes to at the end. I've got a bad memory where it will actually terminate that particular train in real life. So if you know the route where it terminates, do put it in the comments below, because it would be interesting to know. So we've just got over 3 miles to go till our first stop at Paisley, Gilmour Street. Okay, that's not our yellow signal. So we're now just passing through Hillington East. So, and then the next station we'll be passing through will be Hillington West. So, and then just after that we pull into Glasgow Central Station. Now, what are my thoughts on this train? Overall, the actual skin of the train, the Scotrail liveries skin, is really detailed. It's fantastic. It looks genuine. The detail on the front is pretty much accurate. You know, the lights are in the right place. You know, things like that. At the rear of the train, it's very much the same story. You know, albeit you've got a very lazy conductor type person there who just seems to not want to do his job. And then right at the front you've got the same conductor person as well, so he seems to have done a Harry Potter apparition or disapparition, can't remember which to, or disapparate I think, so he's done a magic trick and gone to the front. So yeah, okay, so we've just had a more, oh crud. See, this is what this is what happens when you spend time outside of the train. You don't pay attention to what you're actually supposed to be doing. I know there might be some purists out there who will probably say that I should have been inside the cab, I shouldn't have been outside the cab when, you know, I'm just talking about the train. I should be focusing on driving. As much as I like doing that, I also like to see the scenery around me, see the train as well flowing through the countryside. You know, well, or in this case, cityscape even. Okay. We're actually good for time. Well, when I say good for time, we are actually kind of running a wee bit late now. But that's not too bad actually. We're just less than about 20 seconds late. And yeah, that is just where things are at. I'm not going to accelerate past 40 miles an hour, as just after the next signal we have an upcoming speed limit change down to 45 miles an hour, so there's not much point in trying to accelerate past that. So we'll just bring the power setting down a wee bit, and then we'll just idle it just around 45 miles an hour. And that will be us coming to our first stop at Paisley, Gilmour Street. So this will be the question is now, will I have another emergency brake setting going off today? We shall find out. We shall find out. Now I'm going to apply it to step 2 of braking and just bring our speed down to around about 30 miles an hour. Like, the way I try to do this is I try to be as realistic with the driving as I can. So for platforms like Paisley Gilmour Street, as it's a fairly long platform, I try to enter around about 30 miles an hour. If it was a shorter platform, I would probably aim to enter around about 25 miles an hour. So we'll just bring our speed down. Maybe just going a little bit too quickly. We'll just apply another step of braking just to bring our speed down a little bit quicker. Here we go. Couldn't have asked for a better stop. Okay, so we'll open up the doors and we will we will let our passengers depart the train. So, as I was saying before the emergency braking, I do quite like the train. It's quite accurate, and it's a fun train to drive, relatively. It's one of the more simple trains that you'll get in Train Simulator. There are other trains that you can purchase, get as part of the game, which have more you can do in the cab, and what I mean by that is there's just more you can do. So we'll depart Paisley Gilmour Street and I'll explain what I mean. So, okay, oh, there we go. So what I mean by that is, in the cab, if I were to use the mouse, if I was to say use the mouse for everything, click on everything, there's only so many things that I can actually click on. For example, I can change the headlights, so from the day setting through to, change them to a tail lamp setting. I can control the throttle. I can control the reverser, so I can put it into forward, neutral, or reverse. I can also toggle the AWS as well, which is this wee button here. So, got an upcoming speed limit change, so which is fine. We're not going fast enough. We'll just slow down a wee bit. And then we can toggle the horn as well. And I think apart from apart from the emergency brake, there is not much more I can click on. Oh, and also the wipers, quite importantly. I do have a few wee issues with this game. Okay, and my first issue is, a few wee issues with this particular train is, if I were to not have bought this this DLC, this whole route, I would have spent £15. I got this in the Steam summer sale, and it was I can't remember the price. It was like £6 or something, and I got the train with it. If I were to buy the train on its own, it would be roughly about the same price, around about £5, probably £5 or £6. Full price, I would have spent £15 on the DLC. Now, if I were to spend £10 on a locomotive or another train in Train Simulator, for £12 roughly, say, give or take, I would be expecting a lot more I could do with the train in terms of in-cab details I could be clicking. In terms of buttons I can push, things I could adjust, like for example open and close the windows. What else? I would be expecting to just have a bit more as well, and actually have a working driver reminder aid or application. I can't remember what it's called exactly, but just when I would be expecting that a little bit more in the actual game. It just lets it down ever so slightly. That's just the thing. The game, this particular train has a lot of potential. Okay, the speed limit changed a little bit earlier there. Just like I was saying, you have to watch these speed limits, which is a little. How are we getting emergency braking? Damn it! No. I'm not paying attention to the route today. Well, the good thing is we're actually a minute ahead of time anyway, so we're not too bad actually. We're actually alright. Okay, now I'm actually speeding. But, like I was saying about the actual train though, it would be nice if there was more that we could actually do in the cab. It's a good train, but there's just a lot of little things that just aren't quite there that, I know it's, as I said, it's a very simple train to itself. Had there just been a little bit more in the cab we could do, I think it would have just made the train that little bit better. Coming up to the stop, we're aiming just to stop just before the buffers. So as soon as the buffer goes out of sight, just there, we'll aim to stop. So that's us just stopped before the buffers. So hey ho. But as I said, overall, if I was to give this train a rating out of 10, I would give it a fair 6, because it is relatively a good train, but there's just a few wee things that just mean that it could just be a little bit better. So what I've just done there is I've just changed the cab end, so it just means that the train, we're now ready to do the return journey to Glasgow Central. When I was talking about the DRA, for those who don't know, basically you just push big red button, you'd click on it normally, and it would just mean that as soon as you would turn it on as the train stopped, as soon as the train stopped at a platform, say, and then as you departed the way, you turn it off. The idea of it, oh, you got the jet sounds there. Trying to see if we can spot a plane there. Speeding again. I really do end up speeding in this train. I think I just like to speed. Oh dear. But I think for the actual price of this train, I think if there was just a little bit more, it would just make it a little bit better. I would also like to see the horn is just not very realistic. If you do a quick tap of the spacebar, you actually get quite a long horn sound. Whereas if you hold the space for a bit longer, you get a very quick horn. I'm not such a fan of that. I would like to have just seen a little bit better. And talk about loud plates, that is loud. Those are the sort of sounds I would expect for standing right next to an aircraft, but right underneath it is a bit. I've heard quite a jumbo jets take off from airports than that. Whew, that's loud. So this part of the journey is we're just returning down the same line to Glasgow Central, and our first and only stop is going to be Paisley, Gilmour Street. So you might see over here a wee bridge. That's Paisley St James. Okay, now speed down, get our speed down. Okay, we need to slow down for the upcoming 30, just after the signal. Okay, will we get down in time is the question. Just talk about by the skin of your teeth, eh? So there we go. I do have to say that the sounds of the aircraft are just, I've heard other sounds in Train Simulator before, like aircraft and stuff, and they sound much better than that, to be honest. But it's one of the little things I find about it. There's just, as I said earlier, there's several little things that just, that goes for the route as well. But as I said, this part of the route I would give quite a lot of credit to. It's a nice route. I have a lot. The DLC authors have done a really good job of developing it. I can't fault them for that. Okay, just to come into the platform round about 30 miles an hour, just a little bit faster than I would have liked. Okay, we'll just hold her on there for now. It's the AWS going off, just letting us know we've got a yellow signal up ahead. Okay, we're aiming just to stop just before the next AWS ramp, just there. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so we'll get the doors open, and we're going to have a wee quick explore of Paisley, Gilmour Street. Now, even on a bright sunny day, I've actually been through Paisley, Gilmour Street a few times myself, and even on a bright sunny day, it's not the nicest station. And I actually feel that the authors have caught that, or the developers have caught that quite well. It does feel quite like a gloomy station. It's not the nicest of look at stations, and it's one of those things you just like. But overall, I think they've done a good job at developing it and capturing it. And having been outside it myself, you know, visiting Paisley, they have captured this quite well. I mean, the detail, though there's not a lot of detail actually outside the station, but they have captured little things. I mean, I know the actual buildings itself look a bit scratchy, a bit not the greatest looking, but they've actually done a good job at making sure that there is some detail, like the flowers outside a cafe, the fire exit signs, you know, just wee things like that. You know, I do think that they have done a reasonable job with it, and I can't fault them for that. So, nonetheless, I do think there are just a few wee things that minor details of the route, but again, you pay for what you get. That's the thing, and it's actually a relatively good route. You know, what are my thoughts of this route? You know, there is a lot of potential on this route. Now, this is the debate: should people buy it? Should people not? I would definitely say I would recommend the route. As if you're looking for like a short route and with some relatively good scenarios and just quite, you know, and just for a wee quick route as well, it's quite good. Another perk of this is if you are interested in getting the suburban Glasgow, like the other sort of freeware and other stuff you can get, like other routes for it as well that people have developed. This is actually a requirement for some of those routes, so that's a wee incentive to actually get the route, you know, because it is a requirement for the suburban Glasgow loop. So it's always a unique selling point. What would I like to see on this route? I would like to see, maybe not on this route, this particular DLC, but I would like to maybe see another DLC that actually comes out of Glasgow Central down this line and goes towards places like maybe Kilmarnock or going down towards Ayr, Stranraer sort of way. I would quite like to see that. That would be something nice to see, I would say. You know, will it happen in the future? Who knows? Possibly. I can't say for sure, but I would definitely say I would like to see more of this route. There is a lot of potential coming out the sort of southwest of Glasgow. I mean, we've got a lot of routes coming, like for the Edinburgh to Glasgow route, we've got Queen Street as well. We've got the West Highland line going up from, where does this begin? Does it begin in Helensburgh Upper up towards, is it for Gilmour, is it Oban? I really can't remember. My brain's gone on a fart today. Having a complete brain fart. But anyway, they've got some good routes coming out of Glasgow, like these wee bits here. But I do think that I would like to see more around Glasgow. I mean, we've got a good, like certainly through Edinburgh, we've got Edinburgh Waverley, we've got Edinburgh Haymarket on like the Edinburgh to Glasgow route. We've got the Newcastle to Edinburgh Just Trains route. Oh crud, we're speeding. We're speeding again. Help! Right, there we go. You're not paying attention. But we've also got the Scottish East Coast Main Line as well, from Edinburgh up to Dundee. Yeah, Dundee. We're really high there for a second. Who knows why? Anyway, but we've got some good routes, but we don't really, and we've got the West Coast Main Line routes as well. But I would just like to see more in Glasgow. It would be nice if we would have a really good DLC for Glasgow, like in terms of all the sort of commuter routes, all the stations in Glasgow. It would be really nice, like if we could connect it all together. You know, just have more going through Glasgow. I would even go as far to say I would like to see like the route from Glasgow Queen Street low level through towards Bathgate, places like that. It would be a nice route to see and have the 334s and the 334 Juniper cars. It would be nice to see them in Train Simulator. You know, it would be nice to have more of that. So, if if people are listening, I'm personally not a great computer whiz myself, so it'd be really good to see if people may develop this in future. I'm probably guessing here, but there are probably things like that in the pipeline that I just don't know about. That would be great to see in the future. I do like it with things like that. You know, being a Scotsman, I'm very passionate about my own country, as probably anyone is about their own country, I suppose. But certainly, I would be very keen to maybe see more routes in Scotland, and so only recently we've had the East Coast mainline merge as well. It would be nice if we could see if we could have the Scottish routes being able to merge a wee bit as well. That would be quite interesting to see. I would be interested in seeing if that would actually be even possible, for starters. Ooh, listen to the Class 47. The roar of that. It doesn't really sound like a 47. It doesn't have the... It sounds of a 47 I think are a wee bit lower, sound a bit more grunty than that. It's just probably me, but one of those little things. So that's us approaching Glasgow Central. We've got about 4 signals before we need to slow down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to idle off the... I said I'm going to idle off the power, not brake, Lee. I'm going to start to begin to brake a wee bit now, and I'm going to start bringing our speed down towards around 45 miles an hour. We need to get our speed down. As I said, this is one of those things I've noticed about the route, is there's hidden speed limits. Where's this 45 mile an hour come into force? Anyway, that's just down at 44 miles an hour now. So 50 miles an hour. Right, where are the hidden speed? As I said, these speed changes seem really odd. Here it is. So, just at the... So, as I said earlier, there is little things in this route. One of those little things is those speed limits aren't actually there, so don't trust the HUD. Pay attention to the route. Watch the speed limits. It will catch you out. It's just one of those little things. I suppose it could have been left out to actually make people like me pay attention to the route. So we'll get our speed down, and we'll bring her down to about 25 miles an hour, and then just after the next signal we'll aim to bring our speed down to just around about 20 miles an hour on approach into Glasgow Central. So just very shortly we will bring our speed down. Okay, pop her into step 1 of braking. There we go. So we'll be at a reasonable speed as we approach the next speed change, which is just coming up just now. So that's it mainly for the route. As we round this curve, we'll be coming in towards Glasgow Central Station. It's also worth noting, I think somewhere probably just about here on the HUD, that the speed limit drops to 15 miles an hour as you enter Glasgow Central. So do pay attention. There's a overhead gantry just up ahead that will say all trains, and that's all trains 15 miles an hour as you enter the platforms. So this is probably worth a screenshot actually. There we go. Nice wee screenshot. So yeah, as I was saying, there's a sign that says 15 miles an hour. So that's our train just there. we'll pop her into step 1 of braking. Just bring her into around about 17 miles an hour. We'll pop back into the cab. Just now. I don't want to start braking too much, as I don't want to lose too much speed too quickly. I want to just be doing 50 miles an hour as I approach the sign. Well, there we go, we're just as we enter the platform. So that's us entering platform number 12. So number 12, 13, 14. Yeah, platform number 12. I always end up having to count this because I always keep thinking that there's something missing. But that's us coming into Glasgow Central. So, as you can see, that's us. So, we will get the braking up just a wee bit. Okay. Slow her down just a wee bit. I'm aiming just to stop just before the buffers. So I'm aiming just to have these 2 red lights just in my sights as we finish. I won't stop too close to the buffers, as if you ram the buffers, that scenario failed. Yeah, I don't really want that personally. Okay, slow her down just a wee bit more. I find just if you've got enough space, step 1's going to be fine. I might just pop her into step 2 as we come up towards the buffers, and sure, we stop just in time. And there we go. That's it for today's journey. I hope that you have enjoyed travelling on this Scotrail service from Glasgow Central to Glasgow Airport, albeit it's not an entirely realistic route itself, but nonetheless it is a good route, and that's us. So that's the scenario complete. So let's see how we've done. Let's get the breakdown. So let's see. Oh dear. Well, the good news is we've got 3 stars. We got a gold star. Let's see. Speeding. Emergency brake. That was just as we were coming to Gilmour Street. We were actually on time to Gilmour Street. Speeding again. Speed. What were we doing? 37 and a 35. 40. So it was all just by like 2 miles an hour. But coming into the actual airport itself, there was a couple of hidden speed limit changes, and we were actually speeding at one point. Yeah, overall, not a bad scenario. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it, and let me know in the comments below if you have enjoyed this video and if you think you would like what you would like to see more in the series. So in this series, I'm planning on doing more videos from Train Simulator, as well as looking at other games I've got from Satisfactory, and also maybe My Summer Car as well. We might dig it out for a wee spin, shall we say, in the summer car that I've been building in it, which needs a bit of work. But anyway, I've got some Euro Truck 2 simulator videos planned as well. So stay tuned for these. But if you have enjoyed the series, let me know. Well, this video of the series. So let me know, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And that's it all from me here at Gaming of a Student Nurse on Journey of a Student Nurse's channel. So I hope that you have enjoyed it. So that's it for us for this video. So goodbye, and I'll see you in the next video.